You should leave an astrology consultation feeling as if your load is lighter than when you entered it. That's a cornerstone of the empowered approach to astrology, and I would love for you to have an opportunity to experience that. You can do that through the link above. So, is the sky light blue or is it pale blue? Is it an apple or is it an orange? Is the glass half empty or is the glass half full? We can always find reasons to disagree over everything because naturally, as humans, we're put here with different perspectives and different points of view. We don't always see things the same way. And that's a really good thing because if we did see things in precisely the same way, there would be nothing to learn from, nothing to grow from. We would all just be seeing things in exactly the same manner. But sometimes as humans, we see things with a different sense of perspective, and we get into stupid arguments and disagreements over points of view, such as, the color of the sky, or, whether a glass is half empty or half full. Politics is another great one. We find so many different reasons to disagree. And when it's something minor, it's usually no big deal. We can let go of that. But then are those bigger disagreements, which we just don't really want to budge a single iota on. And you know what? I'm of the firm mindset that really there are many instances where we shouldn't budge one single iota. But it doesn't mean that we have to make such a big deal out of something that we disagree about in terms of principle. In terms of more minor things, is the sky light blue or pale blue? Well, it's blue. Does it really matter if it's light blue or pale blue, right? Is the cup half empty or is the cup half full? It's a cup with water in it, okay? Or some other beverage if you're not a water person, okay? Is it an apple or is it an orange? It's a piece of fruit. So there are ways of finding agreement over the simpler things. And over greater points of principle, sometimes we need to hold on to what we firmly adhere to. So unless we're growing from something and we're, recognizing that our point of view was wrong, which is only natural, which is, hey, why we're all here having this experience anyway. But there are some things that we're not going to budge over, and that's a known and that is a given. But we can respect different points of view rather than having to make it such a big deal. But sometimes we disagree over how to agree to disagree, right? I'll say that again. Sometimes we can even disagree over how to agree to disagree over something that is fundamental. In our mind, we go, well, if you give that person an inch, they'll take a mile. And, usually we find ourselves in some situations in life where that is seemingly the truth. But again, that's a matter of perspective, right? We see it as us giving an inch and them taking a mile. They see it as them advancing their cause and you conceding yours, right? So it's not always give somebody an inch and they'll take a mile. Now, here's what I'm leading to, not just constant different points of view. Sometimes we find ourselves in certain positions where even though we fundamentally disagree over something, even seemingly major, we share a common cause with someone that places us in a position where it's important to put those differences to the side. We may feel that this is the best route to go in a certain direction, and the other person may go, no, no, this is the best route. But both routes recognize that they have to go forward, right? Because you're not going to get anywhere if you're just, sitting here going this direction or that direction, right? So, you have to find a way to go forward with certain situations. So, as we're dealing with this new moon cycle, there is a certain energy where agreement can be found over a common cause that you share with another individual, and a common cause about which you have a great deal of devotion, as does the other person. Identifying that common cause and what you're both wanting to achieve or attain for that common cause can place you in a position where you're able to put your differences aside on other points and find common ground to move a situation forward that was previously stuck in a stalemate. You don't have to sit and spin your wheels anymore. Don't get all caught up in how they see this and how you see it. And don't make it such a point of disagreement. I mean, you can say, here is the way to get out of this sticky mess, and the other person can go, no, 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 this is the way to get out of this sticky mess. But sometimes we're in a situation where it's a sticky mess and we have to get each other out of it because we recognize that's what it is. And so at least at that point, we're united in that common cause of getting out of a difficult situation. Disagreements will always be there. Different points of view will always be there. We don't necessarily have to see them as the be all and end all, at least not in regards to this particular situation. A situation is on edge at the present moment, but you can find a way to agree to disagree over the more minor points of the situation and find a way to agree on a common cause in order to advance the situation. The details will have a way of working their way out over time. Those things that you disagree about will always be there. The movement that you make, it may not be absolutely perfect, but it's progress. And right now, progress is precisely what is needed. And if you could use a little bit of help moving a situation further onwards, I'm happy to help with that. What you should do in that particular instance is to schedule in an Empower Hour consultation. You can find a link to do that just above. That's going to do it for this look at the new moon in Anuradha Nakshatra, which takes place on the 23rd of November, 2022. Until next time, please do take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.